Hello, and how are you? I am at home, but leaving shortly. It is my last reserve block for the month. I wish I could say forever, but no. So I have one more reserve block, and then next month I have a line month, and I am so happy about that because reserve life is stressful, even on AM or PM reserve, when you kind of like have a little more grasp on what you're going to be doing. But still, you just never know. Like today, for some reason, I was #1 on the list. I don't know why. I really thought after working a month of reserve, I would be lower on the list, but no, I was #1. So I got this lovely trip. I will be going to San Antonio and Detroit. Thankfully, I have a friend in near San Antonio who has time to come and meet up, so we're gonna go have lunch or something tomorrow. And then I think in Detroit, I think I've seen all of Detroit that I need to. So flashback, I started in Detroit when I became a flight attendant, so if you're new here, that is news to you. I'll link to a couple of my first videos, which, oh god, they're something. I definitely have gotten better at editing. But anyway, so I think maybe I'll use Detroit to edit videos, because I need to do that. But anyway, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about my company's reserve plan. And actually, I think I might compare it to a couple of some other flight attendants for other companies that I know have shared with me what's different about their reserve system. So I think we probably have one of the best ones. But I don't work for every airline, so I don't know. Although I do think I kind of like the way Delta's is laid out, but I don't know. I mean, I've never done it, so I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to finish getting ready. I just need to do my hair and get dressed, and I'm on my way. So I have to be there at 12:30, and it's, I don't know, 10 something. So I hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to my channel. This is my Moxie life. Let's go do some flight attendanting. Hello friends. Whoa, I can't hold on to my phone. I am looking a little disheveled, but whatever. We're getting ready to board our second flight. We just made it to Kansas City, and we only have 66 people, so that's nice. And that was something I was going to tell you. We were a little bit delayed, so I went to Starbucks. I got a tea. I drank half of it, and I dropped it. Dang it.
This airplane was so cold, I had to fill a glove with hot water and hold on to it.
I'm going to go ahead and consider myself elite. Thanks for the water for my coffee. Good morning. Well, plans changed. I was supposed to go out with my friend, which I mentioned, but unfortunately she is not feeling well. And so I will stay. I mean, I'm not going to stay in. I'm going to go out, although I can tell it. Oh my god, the glass is like on fire. It's so hot outside already. It's like 10. I'm right across from the Alamo. And yeah, so I heard about a good breakfast place. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a coffee, go do a little workout. It's so bright. Go do a little workout, and then go get some food. Down, there's a little place that our shuttle driver mentioned, so I think I will go check that out. So let's go. from San Antonio, my hotel room. There's my Voodoo Donuts bag. Did you guys know there was a Voodoo Donuts in San Antonio? I did not. So I don't know if it's new or not, but I went there and there's 3 amazing donuts in there. 1, 2, 3, count them. But I won't eat them all at once, I promise. Me again. I wanted to do another little commercial break regarding Reserve and talk a little bit about Reserve with my airline, and then kind of compare it. As much as I know, I don't know a lot about Reserve with other airlines, but I do know some things. So Reserve with my airline, we currently have 3 different variations of Reserve, which they are in talks to try to like switch that up in the new contract. They did come out with a new version, and people were not really thrilled with it. There were some aspects that I was a little bit kind of not cool about, but we'll see. That didn't go through, so hopefully they'll change it to make it a little bit better. But the 3 types of Reserve that my airline has are called Ready Reserve, AM Reserve, and PM Reserve. So AM Reserve and PM Reserve are a little more senior. You have to put in a little bit more time to be able to hold those on your schedule. Ready Reserve is pretty much what everybody gets when they first start. And currently it is a 24-hour reserve and always in 3-day blocks. So it can be a little bit of a beast. You can get changed. They can put a trip on your board for your reserve block, and then you can completely have something different like the next day. And so it's a little bit crazy because it is super changeable, flexible, and essentially they can call you at any time. Once you're on your overnight, you definitely have to have a certain amount of time, which is 10 hours minimum rest before you can start the next day. And then once you're back in base, don't quote me on this, but I think it's 12 hours. I haven't done a Ready Reserve in a while. So yeah, that's that. So it's a little bit brutal. The AM Reserve goes from 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. They can call you. That's your contactable time. And then with that, an AM trip, you have to be back in base by 6 p.m. on the 3rd day. So some people really like that because they know they're going to be back home and it's not going to be late. I previously liked AM trips and AM Reserve until I started realizing I wasn't sleeping and I was having to get up super early for those East Coast AMs, and it was kind of getting a little bit frustrating because thinking about a 5:30 a.m. shuttle time in Washington, D.C. is a 2:30 wake up in my body being a West Coast person. This is why I switched to PM trips. I have never been like a super major night owl, so it's been a little bit of a change for me, but I actually am really enjoying it. The only bummer with PM trips and Reserve is that, you're a little more subject to some delays, as the day goes on, things happen. But so far, I mean, it hasn't been horrible. I haven't had any like really crazy like schedule changes or delays yet. I feel like I've been lucky. But the PM Reserve block starts at 10 a.m. and they can call you up until 6 p.m. And there is no cutoff to when you have to be back in base on the 3rd day for PM Reserve. All 3 reserves can self-assign, so that's cool. So everybody has a time when they can start self-assigning trips, which means if there are trips in open time, then you can go in. Any that meet the criteria as far as like a PM Reserve trip, it would have to be something that were reported after 12 p.m. for me, or noon. So anything that qualifies for that, I could self-assign it. So that means I don't have to sit around waiting for crew scheduling to pick a trip for me, or whatever place I am in line. Say I'm number 7, but I really want to fly. I don't want to just sit around. So I can grab that trip if I so choose. As far as if you are a commuter for Reserve purposes, you have to be in base at least 30 minutes before your contact time. And for a trip, you have to be in base an hour before your report time. So those are the like commuter rules, so you don't push it too close to your time that you're available. For other purposes, as far as reserve, you have to be within 2 hours driving distance. You have to be within 2 hours driving distance at your contact time. So currently my contact time is 10 a.m. So say I was somewhere, I don't know, far away, and I needed to get home, I would have to be somewhere, you know, within 2 hours of LAX by the time 10 a.m. rolls around. So because they give you what's called my mouth is not working. They give you a 2-hour call out. So that means they only have to give me 2 hours to be at the airport. So other airlines that I know a little bit about, well, I worked for SkyWest to start out with, and I can tell you for a fact their reserve is awful. They have no rhyme or reason to this way they schedule reserves. There's a lot of blocks that are long, like you could have 4 or 6 days in a row. There were many times where I would have 1, maybe 2 days off, and I couldn't commute home. I just didn't have the time. So I would be gone for like 3 weeks at a time, which I hated. And yeah, I think their reserve system is not great. I don't know a lot about deltas, although I do know that everybody's on reserve for a certain amount of time, and it's only 1 block a month. They call them A days, I believe. And maybe if there's a Delta flight attendant out there that's watching, you could comment on this. But I have heard it's only maybe like you only have to do that your first year or something. I can't remember exactly how long you have to do the A days, but I know probably the least about United, except for I do hear that they can be on. This is a little bit. They can be on reserve for quite a long time. I don't think they have a limit. It just depends on their seniority. And I know that they can be on reserve for pretty big chunks of time. I just recently saw a video of a girl who had a 9-day reserve stretch. Now, I do know with my company, you can do that to yourself. Like if there's some people who do what's called blocking, and maybe they need like half of the month off for something. And that's the great thing about my company is like the flexibility of moving your schedule around. I don't think it's unmatched, honestly. So people will block, they'll like trade with other people. So like say if I have 2 blocks at the end of the month and they have 2 blocks at the beginning of the month, we'll switch. So I'll have 4 at the end and she'll have 4 at the beginning, and then they'll work those like pretty much back to back. And so you can do that to yourself. Like some people just, and once you get seniority, a lot of times you can put reserve blocks on your board and you won't work because there'll be so many junior people above you that they use. But that doesn't always work out because sometimes things go crazy and they call people. Oh, and one other thing I forgot to mention about Ready Reserve is that they are the only Ready Reserve, or they were the only reserve group that can do airport standby. So that means that they are the only group that can be called to sit at the airport and just be on the ready in case, you know, something goes wrong, somebody doesn't make it, like they're stuck in traffic or whatever, they need the plane to be boarded before the flight attendant gets there, or there's just a last minute like, hey, we need somebody to cover this spot, like whatever. So, or they get sick or injured on the line, whatever, you know, some types of situation like that. So that is one other thing. I know I'm jumping all around and I'm so sorry. I hate it when it's confusing like this, but hopefully some of these things will have helped you. And if you have more questions, please post them in the comments. I would love to answer more questions and give you information that you're interested in. Thanks for watching. See ya. Crazy workout here. So I just finished my workout and heading back to my room to go and do some editing. But I'm super glad I worked out. One thing I know is I never regret going for a workout, and I'm in Detroit. So I'm in Detroit and there's really nothing in Detroit that I need to do. I think I've seen pretty much most of Detroit that I need to see. And so I'm just gonna settle in, have some lunch, and do some editing. I'm just watching some birds being weird down there. Anyway, so, and hey, woo, we don't lobby till 5:30 p.m. So I've got a lot of time to kill. I think it's like 1 now. Is it? Let's see. It is 1:30. All right, so I will check in later. We have 2 legs today, by the way. And we are going to, actually, I'm gonna do this later. You guys, I literally just looked out the window and it was nothing, and then like 2 seconds later it just started pouring, and it's like ridiculously windy. It's almost a little scary to be honest. It's like kind of crazy, and the lights are flickering, like the power is like, oh my god. What's going on? I haven't seen a storm like this in ages, but brings back memories of when I was based in Detroit. Oh my god. All right. Well, the lighting is good right here. So the lights in my room never came back on, although it's kind of strange because the light in the bathroom was on and the power in the bathroom was on, sort of. So I blew dry my hair with a very weak blow dryer, and my straightening iron has a fan on it, and it was like, like barely blowing. But I was able to get ready all the way, and only partially in the dark, so that's good. And it looks like things are clearing up, so I think we'll be fine. I can't hear any airplanes going, but they must be. Anyway, so we're on our way. I think I'm going to wrap up this vlog. We are going 2 legs, one to Nashville with an hour and a half in between, and then we head back to LA. I land at about, I want to say midnight. I think it's supposed to be 12, so I figure I'll be home by 1:30ish. So actually overall it's been a pretty good trip. I did a lot of editing, so there'll be new videos coming, and yeah, I'm very excited. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.